to the esteemed National Academy of Science and Technology, headed by its president, Dr. Rodora Azanza, to DOST-SEI, headed by Dr. Josette Bio, to DepEd NCR's Regional Director, Dr. Wilfredo E. Cabral, fellow educators, guests, and participants, a pleasant morning to everyone. I am Don King O. Evangelista from Navotas National Science High School and DOST-SEI's 2020 Brightest Star in Science. It is an honor and privilege for me to discuss to you the different learning losses and the learning gains that Navotas National Science High School has acquired during this time of pandemic. The title of my presentation is Educating for the Future, the NABSI Experience, Minimizing Losses, Sustaining Gains. The question is, are there a learning loss during the COVID-19 pandemic? And the answer is a big yes. There are learning losses. There are a lot of missed opportunities. There are missed chances of learning. For example, we in NABSI should have a research congress before the lockdown. But because of the lockdown and because of this COVID-19 pandemic, that planned research congress was postponed. And also, for senior high schools, the work immersion is now in a different modality, not like before. And there is also a big gap between the last school day of school year 2019-2020 and the start of school year 2020-2021. So the question is, what are the reasons for this learning loss? There are two possible reasons for this learning loss. A, the system is not really ready. We in the Department of Education have alternative delivery mode. We have an ADM. We have ALS. But this is not designed for everyone. This is designed for extreme cases such as wars, such as floods, and for out-of-school youth and working students. Not all schools are prepared for this. Distance and remote learning was not a thing to be considered before the pandemic. To prepare the whole system of education, a long haul vacation is needed, and there is no transition curricula or program for our students at that time. Letter B, the students are also not ready. Psychologically, they are not ready. They are not prepared for this type of education wherein they are at their homes looking at their situation. Socially, they are not prepared for an isolated experience that they will study on their own, mentally and emotionally. We can hear over and over again as it trends on Twitter, as it is said in feedbacks, that some of our students now are experiencing great anxieties. They are experiencing mental breakdowns because of this type of education. But the question is, should we stop because we have this learning loss? Should we stop because we have this situation? The answer is obviously no. As educators, we are designed to innovate, to think outside of the box, or maybe to think as if there is no box. And we at Navotas National Science High School, through the leadership of our principal, our SDS as well, through in the leadership of our schools division office, our regional office, and the central office, had quickly moved to minimize this learning loss and that we can gain more from this pandemic. So how did we overcome these losses? I have 5 points. A, proactive and empowering leadership. There is a leadership now. There is a shift in the leadership from CO, region, division, and schools. We can see that the schools are very much empowered to do their own contextualization of the Sulong Educalidad and the BELCP. There are intensive training for teachers. Some are mandated by the CO, some are initiated by the region, by the division, and ultimately by the schools. It's about upskilling and reskilling the teachers. And not just the teachers, but also there is a continuous training of students and parents during this time of pandemic. There is a continuous engagement, and that minimizes the gap. That minimizes the loss. Letter B, bridging material and economic gaps. Let us face the reality. Not everything can be provided by our government, but everyone can contribute meaningfully for education to continue. And this is much manifested during this time. Brigada Escuela is very much alive. Now, Brigada Eskwela is not about painting classrooms or repairing CRs. It's now building the lives of our students through distance learning. Bahay Aralan Partners Program is our contextualized program wherein students with no gadgets and with no internet connection are supplied monthly by communications allowance that is funded by our sponsors. There is also a regular feedbacking from students and parents because we want always to hear the voice of our customer. Every month we have this type of Google form where students and parents answer truthfully and anonymously for us to know what we can improve. We also fostered academic ease. At the first month of the school year, we had some problems with mental health of our students. So we implemented a week 4 and a week 8 life week wherein there is no online class, there is no online synchronous class, but they are only answering it on their own pace, the modules, so that their eyes will not be strained as well. Also, we have utilized the integrative performance task, which is the integration of all the subjects to create a single task. And that will foster academic ease instead of having 9 different performance tasks per subject per week. Lastly, NABSAI has implemented democratization of education. We are very thankful for the partnership of DepEd NCR and Open PTech IBM for providing us a legislative science high school with a platform where our students can alternatively learn what they want to learn now. Because we know that in a science high school, robotics is essential, computers are essential, but we are not in a classroom. So, Open Tech is the bridge to that, and our students now can choose whatever field they want to study using the Open Tech, and the feedback is amazing. Also, we have flexible learning experiences. In NAVSA, we don't have a single modality. We are a blended modality. It means that some of our students are online, some of our students are asynchronous, some of our students are really modular, and we as teachers are the bridge to their learning. Are we coming back to the old normal? I believe not. We are moving towards a better normal, a better future for our students. So what can we do to have this better future for our students? Number one, we must have grassroots planning. We must have intensive consultation with our stakeholders. We must listen to the voice of our customers. Let us always remember this, that the number of activities is not equal to productivity. It does not mean that we have all these programs, is that every program is effective. We need to listen to the voice of our customers. Activity is not equal to productivity. Let's work smart. Let's put our energies in the right perspective because we are limited human beings. So let us put our efforts in the right perspective. Also, we need intensive data gathering to LESF, LIS, or established data gathering systems. Number two, paradigm shift from pedagogy, teacher-centered, to eutagogy or student-directed. Let us provide learning playlists for our students. Instead of giving them, this is what you're going to do, let's give them options because they want freedom. Because in freedom, they learn more. Thematic and contextualized learning. Let's contextualize our learning. Here in Navotas, we contextualize it to fishing, through our products, because if the lesson is close to their heart, they will learn more rather than compartmentalized learning. We must now move as teachers from stage to from on the stage, from the fountain of knowledge to guide on the side. We are guides on the side of our students. And alternative ways of assessment, not just paper and pen, not just module and worksheet, but also authentic assessments, also performance tasks, also 1 minute reflections can do as an alternative way of assessment. Number three, we must improve our infrastructure. And this is not the buildings, this is not the classrooms, the chairs, the tables, the books. It is now digitalization of learning. Let's now move to community Wi-Fi hubs. Let's prioritize the last mile schools. And if possible, we can loan gadgets for students and data connection. Lastly, there must be a consideration for human resource development. What if we rationalize the teacher task and delegation and designation of tasks? Let's have teachers who are focused on curriculum, teachers that are focused on researching of pedagogies, teachers that are focused on module writers, teachers that are focused on classroom teachers, and teachers that will aid their teachers to their teaching. We can work it together. Sulong Edukalidad. Maraming salamat.